Hello, this is Georgie Dragonfly. Welcome to Cosmic Heart Conversations podcast, where you're joined with me and the wonderful Jun Magnificent, who's going to be sharing his sacred energy through. So I invite you now to come forward, invite yourself into this space, and let the world know who you are.
Oh my gosh. I love you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. My name is June. I live here on the magnificent Big Island of Hawaii. And so I guess you can call me a galactic shaman, an energy healer, light language channel, cosmic medium, all of those fun and mystical and magical things. However, like my basic structure, my basic, I guess you could say design is I'm a transmuter, alchemist transmuter. So like energy healer, yeah, in that way. So my main role and job and mission here, whether I'm just intentionally trying to do this or not, I'm designed to just purify the quantum field, to clear energy, purify the field, lightening up the load, so to speak, and just keeping and maintaining like this energy of just like openness. So thank you.
And you do just that very, very well indeed. So before we even get into that, where did that really start for you? Because a lot of people out there are sometimes questioning, who am I? What am I? What is my purpose? And they see people doing light language and light codes. They're fascinated by it. They want to express that, and they're thinking, how did that person get there? So.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's a really good question. So how my journey began and started, actually, so first of all, yeah, so for the first 24 years of my life, I was like dead asleep, okay? So just enjoying the whole third dimensional fantasy, like living my life. And okay, so when I turned 24, so yeah, that was a very superficial and materialistic time for me, which like I'm not mad about, like not complaining. But but when I turned 24, I was like, it really had to do with like my diet. Everything started with like the way that I looked. And I was like, oh, I want to lose weight. Like, I'm like, no, like I'm too short to be like this many pounds. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, okay, well, what are some ways that I can maybe like be healthier and like switch it up and just lose weight, literally to lose weight. And that's when I stumbled upon veganism. And like the whole, like, that was like my whole activation. So like, I was like, okay, like something, like there was like a click, like a resonance with me, like automatic, like understanding with like, well, the veganism turned into like this whole like holistic, the holistic way of being. And I was like, okay, well, this makes sense. Like there was a part of me like that understood like, energy and like you are what you eat and like density and frequency and like, and all those things. And from the veganism, so then after it's just like this rabbit hole, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then from veganism, I discovered Reiki. So I was like, okay, I'm obsessed. I love it. Like, I want to like feel better, be better, the whole nine. So automatically, again, like that automatic resonance. And I started going to Reiki and the meditations. And in my meditation group, I was actually invited to go on a journey to the Amazon. Okay. Yeah. So I know the guys are like, woo. So that's how everything really started. And so this, a friend of mine in the I met through meditation, the group invited me to go to the Amazon to do plant medicine ceremony, ayahuasca. Now, keep in mind, I did not seek this. I did not, like, none of it. Like, everything was just coming in all on its own organically.
Marjorie seeks you.
Oh my gosh. Right? Thank you. And like, I actually always kind of thought like my younger brother was always kind of aware and conscious. Like, he was born in 95. And so he was already just like, a lot of his DNA was already like online and activated. I used to think he was crazy. Like, I'm like, okay, you're crazy. Like, that's my weird little brother. But no, so it just found me, plant medicine. And I was like, well, I don't have a reason to say no. You know what I'm saying? This was in 2012, okay? And so I went, and funny enough, like, the girl that actually invited me to go to the jungle actually wasn't able to go to make it.
Wow. You were like
So
there on
I
your
was
own.
like, I went alone to meet with this group. I ended up going by myself. Amazing ceremony, 3 day. It was a 3 day ceremony. New Year's Eve from 2012 to 2013.
Wow.
So on the final, and so the first, okay, so it was three ceremonies, and the first two ceremonies were just like complete purge, like ridiculous, insane, whatever. And then on the third one, that's when I had what someone call, like, a breakthrough energy or whatever. And on the third ceremony, that's when like everything just like blew open. Okay. So like the guys started to step in, everyone started to introduce themselves, and like Yeshua and like Mother Teresa, and then I had some family members come through. And then that's when like Yeshua, I refer to him as like my uncle, like, because that's like the energy that I like, this relationship that I have with like Uncle Yeshua. So anyway, so he comes through and he tells me, he's like, well, you're an energy healer. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I had no idea, you know what I'm saying? So that's when that understanding and that insight was given to me for the first time. Oh yeah, I reconnected with my higher self, which is something I didn't really realize the significance of it, to like know yourself in that way, to know your energy, because I mean, it's been so long, but so many of us aren't even really aware of who we are in that way, and especially our signature, our frequency, you know what I'm saying? And so it makes it difficult to understand it, to be aware, to know, I mean, everything inside and out, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's that like key thing, is yourself. So that was the hugest, most incredible gift that was like given, was that connection to myself. And I was just laughing and crying, because I was like, oh my God, like, I know this energy, like, this is me, like, it's been with me my whole entire life, and it is, but I just wasn't aware of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wasn't aware. So yeah, so like the gifts that's when everything started to come online, the telepathy, the clairsentience, like all of it. So, okay, long story short, they were just like, okay, well, I was living in Florida at the time, okay, Tampa, Florida, in the city. And they were like, well, you're moving, you're leaving, you gotta like pack up all your stuff and go. Like, everything is like changing for you. And I'm like, okay, like, where am I going? Like, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? And they were like, you're going back home to Hawaii. So I grew up here in Hawaii, on another island, in Oahu, because my father was in the military. So they told me, they were like, you're going back to Hawaii. However, you're going to be I was moving to an island, to a smaller island that's literally like maybe like 8,000 people. Like, so I was going to be spending this time in like solitude, like this whole like self everything, reorienting, restructuring, remembering, kind of like part of the journey. So they're like, you're moving, you're going to be in solitude. And I'm like, okay. So it's the island's called Molokai, which is like my heart and soul. So yeah, so I come home from Florida, I come home from the jungle, completely transformed and changed. I'm like, hey everyone, look, like, I'm leaving in like 6 months, I'm moving. And of course it was like a shock to everyone. So yeah, so like that was it. So I moved to Hawaii, and I spent a couple years in solitude, just like remembering, and just like, learning and training, just endless amounts of training, and just crazy heart opening, healing experiences with like the guides and like ETs and like all this just healing expansion and growing. So
Would you
yeah.
be able to give any like experiences and things that people could hear? Yeah, what that's
Ooh.
like to go through initiation and teachings on a very cosmic level. This isn't like going
Mm.
to a little course to get attuned by someone, you know, not another human, is it? It's quite a different experience. So I think
Thank you so
people
much.
would
That's
love to
yeah.
hear that.
That's really heart opening. I appreciate that because for the longest time on the journey, like that's what I wanted. Like I wanted someone to follow. You know what I mean? Like, I need someone to tell me what to do. And I was like, well, where's my teacher? And like, where's my, you know, where's my shaman? And where's my person that I'm supposed? I assumed that I was going to be meeting this person that was going to be training me, but little did I know everything was going to be from within myself. You know what I'm saying? Which was like, again, part of the gift, the energies. But yeah, so well, first of all, you know, solitude, that's an incredible gift in itself because like part of the initiation and the gift of like even being aware of like, well, reading energy, like learning how to read energy is like, first you have to know your energy first, number one, like first and foremost. That way you're able to see and perceive all the energies that are not you and around you, you know, within and without. So you know, the more self-awareness you have, you know, the more awareness that you have within yourself, the more awareness that you have outside of yourself. So like basically me, I mean, even just being alone, just being like, that was like part of it, right? Just like hanging out by myself, you know what I mean? Just being in my own energy, getting to know myself. But then we did have like the moments where like, you know, the guys would step in, like I would freak out because I literally thought I was going crazy. Right? Like when like Archangel Michael or Michael would come through and start communicating, you know, that was part of the vibe, was just like learning how to communicate and learning how we operate and how we, because I feel like we all have our own unique way of communicating with spirit, which is something that I like really try to express it. Like it's not like a one size fits all, right? Because that's like a thing, like you look at everyone around you and you're like, oh, that's how they're doing it, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how I need to do it, but that's not it at all. Like everyone's gifts are different. It's like a spectrum. Like everyone's clairvoyance works differently, everyone's clairsentience works differently, everything, their telepathy. So it's important for you and us to remember and to practice how, you know, our own unique way of expression and communication, because that's just what it is and we need to learn that. So like that was a huge part of the training. Now I will say one thing really quick. So here's the thing, okay? Plant medicine. Okay, girl. Now it was kind of like an inside out kind of situation to where, you know, one moment I'm like in 3D and the next is like completely blown wide open. Okay. So it was like grounding and coming back into my body. Like the integration process was so severe. So for years, so I was alone, but at the same time, I was kind of like untethered at the same time, you know what I mean? Because I was literally like in this dream state, like I was in a dream. At that point, I was like, okay, physical reality is not real. You know, this is all like, because that's what the medicine showed me, like how reality is created and like, you know, the DMT and everything, and like how we create our realities and how everything is dreamt up. So at that point, I totally like disregarded physicality, material reality. And I was literally living in the ethers, okay? So which was fine. And that was part of the journey and the process. And that's what helped me. And that was, again, like to even be aware of like the subtle reality, the subtle energies. But at the same time, it was not, I mean, that's not where we're not supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like we
You
still
couldn't
need to come
stay
back.
there. You couldn't really like. It's
Exactly.
not like it's gonna be healthy, I suppose, in the long term for you, as also being this physical vessel that you are.
And that's not actually, and it creates even more distortions in the field when you're not grounded and when you're not balanced or in harmony. So we're not supposed to just be, you know, not in our body, basically. And I wasn't for years, okay, years of not being in my body. So, and I say this because this is important because, okay, so like I wear this hematite, okay? This keeps me grounded and in my body. So for years, I was like, you know, working with the guides and spirit and blah, blah, blah. And then it wasn't until this came into my life to where, and this was like years into the journey, to where everything started to finally like real, like it was just like a turning point and like, oh my God, like I'm a human being, like, you know, this is the physical reality, and there's energies, like there's my energy and there's your energy, you know what I'm saying? And there is like, you know, my field and your field. It wasn't just like, because for years I was like in this one, like, oh, I'm just like entangled and enmeshed in everyone's energy and it's all me and blah, blah, just unhinged. But then you know, the gift was, well, that was, well, thankfully I did go through that process. But like, once I came into like the grounding and coming into my body, that's what really helped me to see and perceive multidimensionally. Like once I actually, and I was like, oh my God, like everything. And like life was like amazing and easy. And so, yeah, so like that was like a big shift. So that was part of like the integration and yeah. The process.
It is a beautiful integration process, you know, and it's not something that's like an easy thing as well. So like since we're talking about plant medicine, it is important to for those that are listening as well to all remember that, you know, it's not like, oh yeah, I'll go and do that because it might do this, but everyone's experience is different. And
Thank you.
also that process that you went through afterwards, you know, it's something to remember. Like you've got to really know what they are going to be getting into, like life crumbling and rebuilding and reforming, and that's not like a, it's not really like an easy quick fix at all.
That's what I was, it was very, I was so overwhelmed for so long. And I tell people, it's like, I didn't, you know, everything came to me, right? I did not seek, and which is fine, right? Because everyone's journey is unique, but it's like, I tell people just like, you know, it's not like, you know, there's a lot that comes, a lot of responsibility, you know what I mean? And it's a lot of work because I like worked my like butt off, like, you know, a lot. And I mean, when I tell you like, purify, 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 clear, 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 clear. Like that's literally, I mean, it's still my life. You know what I'm saying? And it is, and it's like that's like never ending. But that was like that's it. And now we're here and we're supposed to, you know, be of service in this way and be that, you know, hold that frequency, anchor that energy, and be present. But it does take a lot of work, a lot of healing, a lot of clearing, a lot of letting go, a lot of letting go, you know. So I'm grateful for that. Thank you. Yeah.
And so through all the letting go, did you feel, where did the light language and the coding start for you? Because I know you do a lot of beautiful imagery and write codes as well.
I'm still grateful. Thank you so much. Wow. No words. Thank you. Yes. So years later, so I'm like island hopping, living on different islands. So I moved here to the Big Island. So basically, okay. So the guides were basically helping me to work with these gifts and these abilities, like how to manage your energy, how to work with like, cause you know, I'm like, what's happening to me? Like, what's going on? Like, I'm around people and like, I'm getting messages and like these energies are coming through and it's like super overwhelming. Like, and you know, it was just very difficult. You know what I'm saying? To learn and to know and just whatever. So anyway, so in one of my activations, meditations, the guides were like, okay, well, we want you to do something different. And I'm like, okay, like, what's up? And they're like, go into your DNA. We want you to start working in your DNA. And I'm like, okay. So they're like, connect with your higher self, these higher aspects, these frequencies. And they were like, run it through, bring the frequency and the energy and run it through your DNA and allow it to work through all like any dormant strands and all the codes and like the distortions or whatever. So just basically saturating your DNA in your light and your frequency and your energy. So I'm like doing that in meditation. And like all of a sudden, like I had like a Kundalini awakening expansion like moment. And I literally was like having like a seizure, like, just shaking uncontrollably. And then all of a sudden, girl, all of this just light language just started just pouring through uncontrollably. And and I was like, oh my God. And I was just like, just coming, flowing, like moving. And I immediately, I was kind of aware I had some context in the sense of like I've seen it before in others, but like, and actually I've been told like I had the capability, but I was just like, again, it's like, okay, grain of salt, like whatever, I don't care,
Just
But yeah, so
letting
it
it
happened,
roll out.
right? Thank you. So it happened in meditation. And then since then, I was just like, like recording myself speak light language and like sending it to my friends and like seeing like like how they responded and like if anything happened and like, and which is a journey in itself. Okay. You know what I mean?
But that's a great thing to share that actually, because for others that maybe even are sort of starting to speak light language, to know that, oh, sometimes, yeah, you could just start by sharing it with your friends, just seeing how they respond. That's a beautiful way to start, bringing that out and building your confidence, but also, seeing how it works, understanding it, learning it. That's beautiful. You didn't just you didn't have to just dive out and feel that you need to then share with the entire world like Instagram,
That's so heart opening. And to be honest, my whole entire journey, that's like the theme of my life. Okay. Not diving out, because I like to take my time with this. And I do, for me, it's really important to know thyself, self-awareness for me. And maybe this is just because of like my like personality, but like I think it's really important to get to know yourself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I did take that time. Because I'm not gonna like, well, I wasn't comfortable with like putting myself out there or sharing anything that I didn't really have fully an understanding of or like awareness of for me. And it's hard to, like, everyone is different and I think it's great, like let's do it. But like for me, I was like, no. So yeah, so I did take my time with that, learning how it worked. And then the writing started to come through, which is actually, it came, well, I don't know about you, but like it did evolve, right? So the light language evolved, which is something I like to, to share because everything, we become more like, it's more fluent and fluid. And yeah, and you can see that in yourself, like how the transmissions, how it flows, how it moves, how it works, how it expresses itself. And it is evolving as well. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like even the art, started to, was expanding. Because in the beginning, like, I'm writing it and the transmissions and it's nice, but it didn't look, it wasn't as it was as it is today. So that's what you know what I'm saying? So yeah, just being more, allowing, like being more used to the energy moving and flowing through this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Does it feel like almost like addictive, doesn't it? Like you just want to keep going. Like there's like this need, this like that just sort of like I'm moving my hands like from my head down because it's almost like it's just coming through, and it's like the hands are then got to move. They've got to get it out on that paper.
You're right. I'm fully obsessed. I really enjoy. I love it. Written transmissions, I mean, they're so heart opening. But I will say the verbal transmissions for me, I do have there's like a soft spot in my heart with verbal transmissions. I feel like, because we can get a lot through. I mean, the written, it's the same, but I really enjoy the spoken, the verbal, the language, But yeah, I'm so grateful because what I love about light language is it's non-linear, right? It's a non-linear form of communication, and we're able to pack a ton of information and it's multidimensional. So we get expressed so much in light that, because the thing is, like, linear, writing or language, like, it's, it's too, it's so linear that we're not able to actually express the energies and the quantumness of all that is, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I love, light language is such a beautiful form of communication and a tool. Yeah. So I'm just thinking, like, me and my friends and I who do speak light language, like, if we do have like a misunderstanding or something, like, we'll speak to each other in light language, and then we're like, okay, cool, we got you, I got you, thank you, like, moving on.
Yeah, I totally get that. And even people who I know who don't speak light language, if it's all just getting a bit muddled up, I'm like, wait, I just need to share something from my heart, and then it just suddenly shifts like the whole experience as well. Which actually, it's interesting you're talking about that, because you do that as a service, and that's something that we explored on Friday, and you had done some light language transmission activation with me, and like, I can't tell you guys, like, people who are listening, that I was moving through something, like, I'm not going to go into depth, but I was moving through a lot of different things, and I've been going through this cycle of collapsing some belief systems and programs and what have you, and it was just like this divine orchestration of us coming together, and you just working exactly on exactly that thing of what was needed, and it was just so divine, it was just perfectly aligned. And I think that's the really beautiful thing about these frequency transmissions, is that you feel the resonance with someone. I felt so much resonance with you, so did you with and it was all meant, and that was such a beautiful experience. And like, I couldn't be more grateful, because, like, whoa, like, I can't, it's beyond, again, what we could even experience as humans, because, or explain as humans, because it is so quantum what is going on and what happens in these sessions. But what actually does happen in the 3D life is that it just starts to wrap up all those different things that goes on, and it collapses that and allows us to really start to live our true authentic self. So I didn't want to know if you wanted to expand a bit more about how a session works, or like how you work, and how does it play out for you on your side of things.
Wow. So heart-opening, so beautiful. Thank you so much. Words can't express the love and gratitude. Thank you. Being with you, connecting with you, working with you has been such an honor, such a gift. And honestly, so, I mean, yeah, heart-opening, but so, like, healing and so refreshing. I'm so grateful, because, and that's another thing, about it's like, we do come into these gifts and, like, the awareness and the quantum, the multidimensionality, but, like, not everyone is, aware or understands or perceives what you're perceiving, especially as you awaken and you come into this, these new realities, these new energies. And, not everyone's going to be aware. So, like, the fact that you are aware, and we're, like, on the same, on the same wavelength, same journey, whatever, I'm just so grateful, because you were able and are able to see and perceive everything that was going on and what was happening, which was like, thank you, Jesus. You know what I mean?
And I'm like moving my hands in way, and you're like talking, like, I'm clearing this thing up here, and I'm like, so I'm here too. It's cool. We got this.
Oh my God,
there's
what's going on. I'm so grateful. So yeah, but anyways, and I say that because that was part of the training. Like, when you're working with other people, you have to be present, and that's where the self-awareness really kicks in, because it's like, you have to be confident and know yourself and know what you're doing. Because I made it to the point for myself, like, it's undeniable. Like, I know what's happening. I know what's going on. I'm secure. I'm confident in this. And if just because someone else isn't aware, that's okay. Because for a long time in the beginning, it was overwhelming, because I'm like, I'm like, I don't know, like they're not getting anything, they're not seeing anything. So like, am I like tripping? Am I making this up? Am I crazy? You know what I'm saying? So like, that's a big part of it, especially like on the healing journey and like being of service and supporting others. So we will be working with all different kinds of realities and energies and collectives. So it is important to like know ourselves in that way. So when we do help other people, we know we're secure and we're confident in like the connection, right?
Yeah.
So thank you. So like how it works for me is yeah, I'm just thinking about like all the training that was involved. So the alchemy, like the transmuter, right? So like that's my thing. So I'm like I'm a healer or whatever, but I'm a transmuter. So like this is something that I can't like, it's like my blueprint. And it's something that happens organically. And when I meet people, when I connect, that's just what happens. Like that's just what it is. I'm designed to respond and in a way that will open up the space, that will keep the space open, and to purify the field. That's it. Clear, 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 release, release, release. And so basically, so what happens is when I connect with someone, right? So the hematite, right? Keeps me in my body, keeps me grounded. The only time I do not have this on is when I'm alone or when I'm like asleep, when I'm alone. Otherwise, this is on at all times. Otherwise, in the quantum field. So when I work with someone, this is the first thing that goes. Like, so I take this off, and that allows me to expand into the quantum field. I connect with the team, the person's team, and their higher self, because everything is always exactly higher self, higher self, higher self. Everything comes through the higher self, right? Connecting with their higher self, and basically how it works is so the alchemy comes in. So I will support and facilitate to create the space. So, okay, we're going to open up the space, clear the energies, which is when the team and the guides come in. And that's when they bring in, okay, well, this is what's been wanting to come in. This is what we've been trying to like, we're processing and we're working through, on all the dimensions, reality, subtle, whatever. And then we allow the space for the energies to take place and for the activations to actually to come through, if that makes sense. Because these are things that are happening constantly, all the time. But the thing is we have to support that. We have to support the transmission. We have to support the energy. We're getting all this consciousness coming from Galactic Center, from the universe, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, it's like there's so much density in the field, in our mind, it's like, oh, we want this and this and that, third, but subconsciously, we're not even really open to the energies. So the work is to be open to receiving what's already coming and what's already happening, because it's already happening. We just need to allow it to happen. And maybe there's, I'm thinking like lifetimes and realities where dimensions and energies that we may be holding on to that's not allowing this, the healing and the expansion and the growth to come through. So yeah, so like that's exactly how that works.
Yeah. And because I mean that's the thing is, people who will want to expand will want to come forward for these kinds of sessions, because then it allows them from there on after to start to feel. But it's not always just like a instant process. Like sometimes we might need to go for more sessions, not necessarily even the same person. Like people could have all different activations and codes. So you kind of have to go and find all the different people that you resonate with, or they'll come to you. You'll meet them just like we did. I connected with you, and I was just like, whoa, come do it for a podcast. And it was just like, oh, you've been ill. Let's do a session. It's like all flowed, all worked perfectly, and helped to just. It was just like all the puzzle pieces, and you were like one of them that came in for that thing for me. And I think that's like that for a lot of people. We're all like, it's like we're a puzzle, and it's all like scattered. And we're like bringing it all together,
Exactly.
Realigning, coming back to our wholeness, coming back to completeness, more of our higher self, or some people might say even our divine essence, bringing that divine essence in, living from the divine essence.
Yes. Exactly. Thank you. So yes, soul embodiment. That's the name of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Soul embodiment, you know, the soul wants to come in, the soul wants to be expressed. And the way that we're wanting to be expressed is not how we used to be expressed. It's not how it was expressed before. You know, we want to do something new. We want to do something different. We want to do something more, you know, open and ET and galactic and cosmic. Like that's what the soul wants to do. And yeah, we're just like clearing and letting go of the old structures and the old ways and the old ways of doing things. And it was fun and it served, but you know, and that's that again, that cosmic reality energy, you know, initiation and like ascension, you know. But yeah, higher self. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, ground.
Yeah, exactly. And you can just feel it, you know, you can just feel more and more of that, and then it just starts to integrate. It's about integration, taking that time for those seeds to fall into place.
Yeah.
So also like with that, like so you know, you had to go through that discovery of course of going and learning all of those things through personal development, I suppose, in a way.
Yes.
And you know, I know that you also do like Akashic, like you go into the Akash and you help people with that
Yeah.
kind of readings and things like
Right.
that. I mean, is that another thing that's just developed because you're able to access that? And is that more of a cosmic connection that you communicate with?
Oh my God, I love you so much. So grateful for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So heart opening. So yes, the Akashic records. That is, so the Akashic readings is something that kind of happened organically. I kind of see it as like a kind of like a side thing, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's something that kind of awakened within me because it's something that I had like lifetime, like past life memories of like in Egypt doing Akashic readings. So it was like natural, right? It was like a natural like wanting to be expressed.
Mm-hmm.
So now here's the thing though, that's hard. I'm grateful that you asked because like the Akashic record. So I feel like everyone kinds of like everyone's maybe could be different, like their way of like reading the records and connecting with the records. I don't know how other people work, you know? But I know for me, and I'm glad that you do bring in like that. So for me, it's like the way that I see it is so right. So the Akashic records is like this, you know, this field, right, that permeates all reality. It's like this quantum consciousness that everything exists in that, you know, the past, future, every thought ever was, will be, whatever. So think of that, all of those energies as one consciousness, right? One consciousness. So what I do is I will connect when I go into someone's records, it's really like their consciousness of all of that is and their perception. So it's like an expanded like perception. So like when someone comes in and they ask a question or whatever it is, it's like the way that their, you know, right, their records would see it through their whole entire soul's journey. So, you know, it's not always like a linear thing. So thank you for that, because that's what I want to like, my message is like, for me, it's like, it's not like a linear thing. It's not like, oh, you know, in this lifetime or that lifetime or whatever. It's not, yeah, it can come up like, oh yeah, whatever. But really it's just this cosmic, galactic, open, expanded awareness that's like giving you some kind of like insight and perspective into whatever the energy may be. Yeah, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because it's like we're expanding, because and maybe I think yourself is you're there, definitely there, and then there's others that are coming into that space where we're really opening to that, which is something that again it is an experience, I think, where you know if you can see it, you can see it, and it's like there, whoa, okay, it's like this massive infinite, you know, pool of information and consciousness, basically, isn't it? There's not like a, and that's how you're experiencing it from that space.
Yes.
And maybe this slightly diverses, but how does all of that fit into your reality now as well? Like, you know, for your everyday life, because there are people out there, you know, again, and I'm always thinking about who's listening and if they're on this journey, they think, whoa, God, they're doing all this in their life. Like, how do you live with all of that going on in your life? You know, how do you embody that and anchor that into your experience?
Okay, I will. Okay, I'm just gonna just be like completely honest. Thank you so much. That is something that I'm actually still. I mean, I work with that literally like every single day. You know, how to be here. You know, how to be on the planet. You know, the guides always talk about, especially lately, they're just like balance, balance, balance. Like we need balance, and it's heart opening because they don't see it like, you know, and it, like looking at it from like a spectrum. It doesn't matter if you're like either on this end or all the way on this end. What matters is that you're here. And I would always like try to be on this side of the spectrum and be like, no, you know, like, but that's just not how it works. You know, like I don't want to get hurt. Like I don't want to like live in the world or be in the world, and like I want to avoid all this. But anyways, that's a distortion that creates distortion, that's separation. And to be fair, it's like I wouldn't even be here where I'm at now if I didn't even go through all the things that I went through in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like all of the stuff that I went through, because essentially like that's me. You know, that's in my field, it's my stuff. And I wouldn't be going through it in the first place if it wasn't there to begin with. You know what I'm saying? So it's just wanting to be resolved. So yeah, when you do, and when we do wake up to all these magnificent, amazing things, yes, responsibility, you know, that's part of the job. Like, you know, that is the job, maintain your energy hygiene, like that's part of service to self and service to others, you know. So that's the thing. So I'm like, we're supposed to be, no, but like the whole idea of like being on the planet and living here and still being able to be a divine human amongst the distortion and the chaos, I think that is part of, you know, it's heart opening to say this, but like the soul loves it. You know what I mean? That's part of the fun. So even though the human sometimes can be overwhelmed and stressed out, the heart, and which is heart opening, because now I go to that and I go to the higher self, and the higher self is like, oh, like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? Like, this is great. You know, it's like this is nothing to be overwhelmed or stressed out about. But yeah, so with that, so I live, okay, just really quickly, like, so I live on a volcano, on this volcano called Mauna Loa. There's several here on the Big Island. But yeah, I live here all alone on this mountain in my little off-grid cabin, you know, and I've been out here for like a year and a half now. I kind of just like, but I'm feeling that energy to like kind of go back into the world. And the guys are like, okay, like, so I have these phases where I'm like in and out, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll be taken out, I'll be doing my thing, and then I'll have to come back and then do my thing there. So I'm kind of in that process of like going back into like those other like, yeah. You know, being in society. But you know, honestly, it's just balance. Balance is it. And the thing is, and also thank you for that. And I just want to say it's important to honor yourself. Please, you know what I mean? Take care of, like, honor your sensitivities. And it's okay to be like, I need to be by myself. Like, I need to be alone. Like, you know, don't try to like, you know, don't overextend yourself. Don't do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Please. Like, I'm like, self-care. So yeah. So to answer your question, this is something that I still, to this day, it's a vibe, you know, because we're out here doing all these galactic, blah, 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 amazing things. But at the same time, we are on the planet, we are human beings, and it's that process of integration. So that's still like ongoing. Yeah, totally.
It is.
How,
It totally is.
how about
I
you?
resonate with that. I'm like, I am so grateful for your honesty to just be like, I'm doing this. I am doing this right now. Oh, I
Right?
love
I know.
that. But and you are in this beautiful. This is the funny thing is, and what's mirroring for me in my life is that, and for this conversation is, for me, I see, oh my, whoa, you're in this beautiful, space because you're in Hawaii, and the energy it must be beautiful to be in that energy. And of course, it's, for you, it's the solitude, and it helps you to be in that energy and expand as yourself. You can probably be this beautiful, open energy, just holding that. It's like, well, for me, when I go into the forest, I can just do that. It's like I yearn to just be in that energy, so I can feel like it's almost like, not in a fearful way, but it's like safe to do so, because I live in a much denser area. I live in a house with two houses next to me.
Yeah.
It's not, for me, that energy is just so difficult. So I completely understand why you want to be in that space, because that's what there's a part of me, it's even
like a
sometimes a
whole
human, isn't it, that kind of yearns a little bit for that, because it's like, because you think, God, I just want to be in like my divine
right.
self and not have to navigate and constantly being like, oh, I've got to pick that out, that's not mine, this is not mine.
No.
Because that's what happens when we're open, when we're sensitive, when we're empathic.
Exactly.
It's like you feel
so
it.
much. So heart opening. Thank you. And and just for everyone that's like listening and watching, it's like, it's true, and like, even for me, like, it's hard because like, it's not like I don't want to be around anyone. What I mean? It's like, I want to be with everyone. I really do. But like, I have to be mindful of the density, the structures, the energy, and it's and just myself, I have to be present at all times. And it's, that's part of like, that is the part of the journey initiation. And like, I'm grateful, but that's the path that we walk on, that we choose, that's definitely like, that's definitely the vibe. That's definitely the vibe.
Yeah. But that's what's beautiful, again, I think, in a way, is having these social medias, because it is an avenue to bring forward the energy for others. Because obviously, I say obviously, I say realistically, or maybe there's another word, but anyway, for souls like ourselves, I put us in, and I'm sure there'll be many that resonate with this, that are, holding certain frequencies, have certain missions, literally they've got a mission to be here on earth, to bring through certain energy that's not just about holding it. Maybe that's sometimes some people's purpose, but sometimes it's about gifting that out to everybody, and that can be kind of exhausting and a difficult task as well,
Yes.
It is.
I actually kind of have a question for you. That's okay.
They always surprise me when someone does that. Like, hang on a minute. Turning the show around.
Thank you. No, I mean, sorry, not sorry, but I'm just curious, Well, for me, I had a lot of resistance around the whole process and this whole awakening situation, because like, once everything started to happen, I was like, holy, like, oh my God, like, I was like freaking out. And I always admired everyone that's just like, yeah, like, gung ho, like, let's charge in the front line of ascension and like, let's heal the planet. You know what I mean? It's like, I was never that guy, like, ever. So I'm just curious, like, how is that for you? Are you, how are you with that? Being open and into the world and, and expressing and everything.
I'm doing a lot, and as we spoke even before this show, I'm doing a lot of inner work to get myself to do it.
Oh my God, I'm so in love with you. Oh my goodness. Oh my God.
I'm just gonna laugh. I'm trying to hold it in the whole time, but it's going.
Thank you. Words can't express love. Thank you so much. So yeah, we're not alone, right?
Yeah. We're inner working constantly with the shadow. You want to call it the shadow work, but it's also the fact that, we've all had these human experiences that have brought us to a point of, and then suddenly we're this spiritual starseed, this and that, and it's like
Right.
you've now got to go and speak and share this and do this,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
I'm shy. I don't integrate with other people. I am a hermit. And it's like, no, you've been a hermit in all these other lifetimes. Here. You have to clear them because you now have to be doing this. And this is the whole purpose and the journey and the thing. And you're like,
Thank you. I
oh,
appreciate
okay.
it. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, thank you for that, for sharing that, because it's like, yeah, I guess we all have our, challenges and our own, because for me, it's like about fitting in. Like, I just want to fit in with everyone. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't want to be different. I don't want to stand out. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole, this is very unconventional, who we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is very like no box at all, So it's like, so yeah, so that was like a vibe for me. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate that as well. Like just what you said there about it's so unconventional that you have to have kind of a lot of bravery to actually say, I'm doing this, and you're
Girl.
dropping so much in your life that other people don't even understand what you're dropping, what you're leaving. That
That's so
doesn't,
hard.
yeah. Sometimes it's not even stuff that you don't want to drop either,
I'm
is
like,
it?
honey,
It's or stuff you do want to drop, but people don't understand that in your life, so they're kind of like,
it's like,
and
how many closets do I have to like come out of? Oh my God, universe, please.
but this is it. This is the journey.
Okay. Okay.
I love that
Okay.
one. So, we are moving through that. We really are. And,
Yeah.
I'll ask you the question of like, yeah, how did you decide? Did you just do it? You just, I suppose, through moving out to Hawaii, you just spent that solitude. But how did you decide and bring yourself to the point where you could share with others?
Um, no, I consciously never decided. Okay. The human ego part of me was never on board. So thankfully, because of like the ceremony, like the re-establishing that connection, I just always followed my higher self. And because of that, like I was always aware of what was going on. So it was always kind of a process of like the universe literally like dragging me like tooth and nail. You know what I mean? Like for me, that's why I say like it's heart opening, because like I just feel like my journey was like backwards in that way, because it's just like everything just came online and it's just like, okay, well, what are you gonna do with it? It's like I didn't have that process of like awakening, you know what I'm saying? I just like awakened.
Mm.
So and plant medicine will do that to you, you know what I'm saying? It will. So yeah. So anyways, oh my gosh, what were we saying?
Oh, it's just how that's interesting. Yes, you're like the one of them that's just like awakened. I've had
Oh
actually quite
yeah,
a lot of people. I've had quite a lot of people that have actually seemed to have had quite a lot of
no,
growth,
right,
or
yeah.
maybe I think I've had a few near death. I've got a lot of friends that have got near death experiences, and I would say that plant medicine can be quite like that.
I,
Yeah.
I'm thanking for that. I'm emoting right now because I literally told the universe that was the one thing I did not want to experience. I was like, please, I did not want to have a near death experience. I was like, don't kill me. But so yeah, I mean, honestly, that was the thing, was like, so for me, right. So thank you. So for me, it was like, I knew what had to be done. And the thing is, it's like, if I didn't do it, and it just was not going to be, farewell for me. It was not going to be good. And I would end up going through whatever I would have to. So I didn't really have so that's what I'm saying. I didn't really have a choice. Like the human part of me I didn't choose to go to the Amazon. You know, I did not choose to like consciously choose to be an energy healer. I did not consciously choose to be a shaman. I did not want this for myself. So part of, for me, my journey is that whole like, you know, integration in that way of just like being present, being in gratitude and being okay, because this is happening. This is what it is. And I can't fight the universe. You know, I really can't, you know what I'm saying? And it's happening. And, you know, it's happening differently for everyone. But for me, that is what it is. So no, I never, it was just like, okay, well, this is what you got to do. This is what's the next thing for you. So I'm like, I'm like, no. I'm like, okay, get over it. So yeah. So,
but it brings us so much joy and lightness. I mean, you're just such a happy, joyful soul. Like there's this. In fact, that in itself can be so transcending and transmuting of dense energies. Just your laughter and your energy of that holds. You know, your energy holds laughter and joy. I can just always feel that around you. And like, did you find with your friends and family, like, did that all kind of start to peel away as well, I suppose?
wait. Wow. This is like such a okay. So there's just like this is like a new energy, such a shift in frequency that's happening right now on a on a quantum level. But heart opening, thank you that you actually brought that up. I talked to yesterday was my older brother's birthday, and I called him. Okay, so I called him on FaceTime, and I was like, "Happy birthday, whatever, wishing you happy birthday." And he was like, he brought up my light. He was like, oh, he was like, Mom showed me that video of you speaking. He was like, I don't know what was going on. He was like, that was crazy. And he was like, oh my God, sis, it was so funny. And he was just like, girl, he was like, I hope you, basically like, is it witchcraft? Like, he was like, is it like, don't be trying to break. I was like, no. And I explained to him what it was. And I was like, it's high vibes, whatever. But yeah, so the family energy, okay, so a lot of that's a big one. Okay. Oh my God.
Probably shouldn't have landed that towards the end.
Right, exactly. You don't know.
But no, you carry on. Honestly, bring through whatever needs to bring through. It came up for a reason. It came up. I get that as well, because I think you put it out there and then it's like, I've got friends and family that actually follow my page and you're like, oh, this is interesting. They're going to be looking at that now.
You have no idea, girl. So a lot of it, so first of all, I just want to say, because there's like so many parts to this, right? One of the main parts of this expansion or whatever is, it's kind of this, not sorry everyone, but I did not really. So it's like our relationship with our family and what the family dynamics. A lot of the energies are very distorted. It's a lot of conditioning. It's a lot of like it's not always the healthiest, put it that way. It's not always the healthiest, right? So culturally, like for me, like I'm half Filipino, half Black. So the Filipino part is like, we're like devoutly Catholic. Self-sacrifice is literally like the name of the game. You know what I mean? It's like we literally like, so for the family, it's like, oh, you always have to do what's best for the family. You always have to put them first, everyone else except for you. And like there's been times, and it's so painful, where I've been called selfish. Like I've been called selfish. And I'm like, I'm literally like the most unselfish person in the universe, but I'm told like, oh, you're selfish because you're moving to Hawaii. You're selfish because you're not doing this for the family and you're doing this for you. And I'm like, and so anyways, you know what I mean?
We're shifting like the whole entire universe's consciousness. Like, not the universe, well, I guess we are, yes, but we're talking about the earth and the grid and the ley lines and everything that you're doing. Yeah.
Thank you. So the thing is, it's like, girl, first of all, there was a point to where, first of all, I'm like, my mom, oh my God, no, I'm not gonna go there. But let's just put it like this. Because I'm like, you're not even my mom. No. But I've actually met and connected with my galactic like mother. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that's like a whole nother conversation. But the thing is the point that I'm making is the family dynamics will change. They are changing. The way that we perceive our family, the realities are changing. You know, and then it's like the self-care, that part of it is changing, and like our relationship, our beliefs, the family structures, and like, you know, so those things will change, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's important to really take so, but I do have family that do support what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? I do have family that do support what I'm doing, and like, and that love it and appreciate it. Like my mom does love it or whatever. But yeah, but one of the main things that I did want to share, it's like, okay, so like how we see our mom and dad, right? Parents, family. We kind of expand beyond the linear family reality relationship, and it kind of goes into like this cosmic. It's like cosmic mother, father, you know, and it's like cosmic reality, cosmic family, cosmic everything. So yeah, all of that is shifting and changing, and that is part of like this whole experience, like this galactic everything is that's a lot more releasing and letting go. We do have to let people go, you know. I mean, that's just kind of like part of it. You know, we can't take care of everyone the way that we want to take care of everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's another shift in like the realities, the energies of like responsibility, right? We are not responsible for everyone else. We're not responsible for our mom and dad. We're not responsible for our brothers and sisters and their, you know, we are independent, not codependent. You know what I'm saying? And like, that's the thing with like the family dynamics, is like a lot of codependency. And when we move up the ladder and in the higher realities and the higher frequencies, it's like, we're independent, we're co-creating, you know what I mean? We're independent, interdependent, you know what I'm saying? So we're working together as one, as whole within ourselves and each other. There's no more, yeah, doing it for anyone else. You know, it's always for the highest good. You know what I'm saying? Not for it's for the one, the all. So yeah, if that even makes any sense.
It does actually, completely.
Yeah, you know.
And it's so interesting, you know, and it's interesting that I asked that question. It's interesting that on Friday that was something that came up for me, and you know, thinking and something I watched on the weekend that kind of really helped to integrate that even further. And it was, you know, speaking about us as like mammals, you know, and how, you know, when you look at other mammals and how their family dynamics are, and actually, you know, because as this vessel, we're a mammal, but then thinking about us, you know, what we're holding in that cosmic information as well, and what does that mean? What does that represent from the macro to the micro? Do you know what I mean? It's like
exactly.
macro to macro. Yeah, and I just feel there.
Wow. First of all, words again can't express the love and gratitude, because this energy, this is an energy that we're bringing in, right? This conversation was so significant. And you know, it's working with everyone who's like tuned in. I mean, collectively, whatever, but this is definitely a vibe, and this is something that's happening on a collective level. So it's important for everyone to be aware and to understand, and just to even come into the energy of like independence and being sovereign, what that means to be sovereign, you know. And it doesn't stop with your family. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, you're friends, but then it's your family as well. And it's important to be, we have to be in our own field. We have to be in our own frequency. Like, that's just what it is. And you'll notice, and you'll find along the way, a lot of stuff that's in the field is not even your energy to begin with, you know, and it's not even you, you know, because I can't even tell you how many times a girl, yeah, just for everyone else, you know, and that's just not, it's not the way. For the highest good anyways.
Yes. Yeah. And it's such a beautiful experience when we can unfold all of that and start to feel more of our divinity. So with that, I'm wondering if you would be so kind and give us the beautiful gift of a transmission of yours that maybe will help with, the conversation that we've had today. Anything to bring that through from that heart as well, or whatever intentions you feel that are calling from you.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so okay, wow. So like the Arcturian, there's like a lot of Arcturian energies, and they just want to bring in this energy to help support this shift. ish I rot o ik I rat ishi rot o rat ishi it I rat arat aishi it I rot o ni rat ashi ik I rashorot o rat ini rat ashani rat arat ishi ni rot o ni rat ashani rat ik ishi I rashay ai ish I ush ut usht urut o I ish it I rot o ni ik I rashirat arat aishi ni rot o rat ashi shi it I ni it I rot o shi ish iti ish irot oni rata shani rata iki rashurot oni rata ish iti rish it iki ish iti rot o ish ish iti ish iti ish iti rush irot oni rat a iki rashin rata rata sharat arat irat I shurot urut o shut urut o shut o rat ish iti rat ani rat asha it iki ish it irot oni rata iki rot urat ish it irat ani rat asha iki rot ushi ish it ish ishi iki rot oni rat iki shurot urit I shirat a shirot o shi shi shit urat ish it wow. Okay. So that was just like a lot of like Lord Michael, Archangel Michael energies, Lemurian energies, Arcturian energies, just supporting the shift of awareness, allowing all these new energies and this integration to take place, to come in. There you go, just done, releasing, letting go of all that no longer serves, collective energies. Done, spinning it out, releasing, done, 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 done. Moving into this higher awareness, higher frequency, higher reality. Ah, nice. Living in love and fighting gratitude. Oh, wow.
Amazing. Thank you. Just absolutely love that energy. Thank you so much, June. Oh my goodness. Heavenly. Gosh. Yes. I hope no one was driving when they listened to that. Amazing.
Ooh, yay! Yes! Love and blessings, everyone, to new energy, new beginnings, new everything. So much love, blessings, and gratitude, and just wow, sis, I love you so. Oh my God, words cannot express so much. Thank you so much for your love. Thank you so much for your light. Thank you so much for your energy, your frequency, your awareness, your essence, your consciousness, like all that is, and just everything. Thank you so much for just like being here, just being here. Thank you so much for your frequency, your energy. Yeah, so much love and gratitude and blessings to you. Thank you.
Thank you, and for your being here and for sharing everything that you have. Honestly, it's amazing. So I'd love you to just share a little bit. I'm going to put in the details of this podcast all of your links so people can find you and they can reach out if they would like to speak with you with anything that came up today, if you're happy to do so, or even just to check out what you do, look at your transmissions. But if you have anything you want to share about those offerings, your links, your websites, then here's the space to do so.
Oh my God, thank you so much. I love you. Yeah, so my name is June. introducing myself. No, yeah, you can find me junjunmagnificent.com. It's JUN magnificent.com. And you can also find me on Instagram, where I like to share a lot of my I like to share a lot of my work on Instagram as well. And that's JJ Magnificent on Instagram. And yeah, so please, I would be so honored to and so open to be working with anyone. And it's just an honor to be of service in this way. I do have different kinds of sessions. Even if you just want to have a conversation, I can, support and hold space for that. And with the guys and the team, if you just want to even have a simple conversation, it doesn't have to be like an Akashic reading or a healing session at all. Even though no matter what you do, it's gonna be healing. It's always gonna be heart opening. It's always gonna be healing and transformative. So so please, connect with me. And thank you so much again for allowing me to even be here, to even share my energy, and to be even open yourself. Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to even be here to even have this conversation in the first place. To be fair, to be honest. So yeah, so no words, just openness and gratitude. So thank you so much, love and gratitude.
In
Thank
love
you
with
so
the experience, in love with life, in love with being.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's always and has it forever in all the lives that I've known you. Been a pleasure. Just sending you so much love and love to everybody that has listened today. Please like and share this episode, and bring this light around for everybody to feel the frequency, because even if you don't necessarily understand everything that has been even spoken about, we are holding frequency. Frequency is moving through us, and it's being gifted out to all those that are in resonance with receiving that energy. And what's really beautiful is I can just feel, and I could see it in you, and I could feel it sometimes happening myself. There was so much shifting. There was some energy that we were like clearing. So it would be really interesting to know if anyone wants to write in the comments or share it in any way what you experienced physically, or any information you received yourself, because there's definitely so much magic happening, even in the subtleties that we're not necessarily hearing in the conversation that are happening. So such beauty. So thank you. Namaste. Arakanduru Moshampora. Shanane. And we'll see you all in the next episode. Bye.
I love you all so much. Thank you. Aloha. Bye.
Aloha. That came out funny. Anyway. I love to everybody.